This is a probable cause conference in Judge Simpson's courtroom. It's not overly interesting as far as the facts of the case. However, it's a good reminder that even though we could be a good person, we could follow the law, we could easily get sucked into something that we don't want to be a part of just because we see it. And the next thing we know, we're on the stand testifying about what we saw against someone who's pretty dangerous. Allegedly, of course, everyone is innocent until proven guilty in the court of law and at Meg's Crime Watch.
Well, let me do this. Court, let's call the case of People State of Michigan versus Martette Robinson.
Jessica Blanchard, we have people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning to your staff, honorable court. My name is Todd Russell Perkins, P 55623, appearing on behalf of Mr. Robinson. Mr. Robinson. Your Honor, at this time, I'd make a mutual sequestration for any and all witnesses. I don't have any in the courtroom. If the prosecution is making a request for the officer in charge to remain, we have no objection.
All right.
Ask for the officer in charge to remain. But
All right. Officer in charge may remain in the courtroom. All the other witnesses are hereby ordered sequestered. All right. All right.
Oh, I make that provision to the extent that this is proliferated on YouTube, that any other witnesses out there, if you could say that to the extent that that matters, or that.
Well, my feeling on that is rather simple, and that is that if this were heard without YouTube, without any video whatsoever, and then it adjourned out, then clearly they could read a transcript. But as for today, I would indicate that any witnesses that are out there, I understand we're only having one witness.
correct.
So I'll say it, but I don't know that it really matters that witnesses should not be viewing the testimony.
Thank you.
All right. Any potential witnesses. All right. We're ready to proceed.
Be seated.
Yes, you may. You may.
Is it fair to say you don't want to be here today to testify? Okay, but you are under subpoena, so you are here today. Okay, I'm going to direct your attention to June 18th, 2023 at around 12:57 a.m. Were you living at 150 Stevens Drive on that date and time? Did you call the police that night?
I did.
Okay, and what alerted you to call the police?
I heard a couple outside arguing, and it escalated. And I called in to see if they could send an officer to calm down the arguments. But it escalated a lot from there.
Okay, so you said you witnessed an argument. Was it between, you said, a male and a female, or an argument between two people, male and female? Okay, do you remember what the female was wearing that night or earlier morning?
Bright pink, like spandex.
Okay, and how about the male that was arguing with her?
A white or very light grayish colored sweatshirt. Hoodie.
Did it have any type of design on the sweatshirt?
There was a logo on it. Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember what they were arguing over?
Yeah.
Okay. What were they arguing over?
He wanted rings back, and he wanted the keys to her car.
Okay. And then what happened next?
Oh wow.
Did they leave at all?
The gentleman pulled off in the vehicle. I thought they both had pulled off at
Okay.
first.
Sorry, let me slow you down for a second. So the gentleman that was in the argument in the white hooded sweatshirt left. Do you remember what kind of car he was driving?
Like a Cadillac.
Okay, so he left and you thought they both left, and then what happened?
Then I heard her, the woman out there talking, so I seen that she hadn't, left away, that obviously this guy must have pulled off in the car with or without. I didn't know if there was anybody else in the car. And then some minutes later, he pulls back up and they argue a little more.
The woman, the pink spandex and the guy in the white hooded shirt. Okay.
Pulled off in the Cadillac. And then they argued a little more, and I heard her say that she was gonna call the police, and he said, go ahead, I don't care if you call the police, I don't have anything on me or whatever. And, they argued a little more again about her wanting keys to the vehicle and him wanting rings as, and he pulled off again. He was gone for a few minutes, and during that time, a black truck pulled up.
Okay, so you said a black truck pulled up? Okay, and what happened when the black truck pulled up?
The girl with the pink got in the passenger side of the truck.
Okay, did the Cadillac come back?
After she got in the passenger side of the truck a few minutes later, the black Cadillac came back and passed the black truck and parked in a parking spot
Closer to what? I'm sorry.
closer to the other end. They were on the right hand side of my building door.
Okay.
And then this is the last time that he pulled in, he passed the black truck, and then he was parked on the left hand side of my building door.
Was he by a dumpster? Okay. Did anybody get out of the black truck?
Not at first.
Okay, and who eventually got out of the black truck?
Okay, so first, the girl with the pink got out of the passenger side and went over and was talking to the gentleman that had got out of the black Cadillac.
The guy with the white hooded sweatshirt?
Yeah,
Okay.
and he again, they were going back and forth about keys and rings. And then the black truck pulled forward across from my building. He got out, he exited the truck. He walked towards my building.
How was he walking when he walked towards your building?
He was kind of crouched down, walking across the parking lot.
Do you remember what he was wearing?
I think it was like a light gray hoodie.
Okay, light gray.
And when he got to the rear end of the vehicles that were parked in front of my building, he crouched way down. And when he got to the front of the vehicles, he lifted a gun.
Okay, so you say he lifted a gun. Where did he lift the gun towards?
Where did he point it towards?
Yes.
Towards the gentleman that was by the dumpster that had got out of the
Cadillac.
Cadillac.
Okay. Do you remember what the gun kind of looked like?
It wasn't a pistol or a handgun or anything, because he had when he stood up from by the side of the car and raised it, and it was like by his shoulder.
Like shouldering it?
Yeah.
Was he holding with both of his hands?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of gun did it look like to you?
Well, it looked to me like it would have been some type of like shotgun, or you know what I mean, to hold. It wasn't a handgun.
Was it as long as a shotgun?
I didn't see a barrel.
Okay. So you said he shoulders the gun. You said he's pointing at the guy who got the Cadillac. Did he say anything to the guy?
He said, "Give her those keys, bitch," or "Give her those fucking something like that." But as soon as I seen the gun, I ran to my bathroom.
Okay. At that moment, when you saw him, you said he was kind of crouching between the vehicles, and then he pointed the gun at the guy who got the Cadillac and said, "Give him her effing fucking keys," or whatever. Bitch, did you see a gun on anybody else? The girl with the spandex or the guy that got out of the Cadillac?
No.
And then what happened?
I was on the phone with the police. I had my phone in my hand when I was running to the bathroom, sat on my tub and called 911. About 60 seconds later, there was a gunshot.
Okay, and did you only hear one gunshot that night? Have 1 second, Your Honor.
You may.
No more questions, Your Honor.
All right. Cross-examination.
I thought this might be a good time to stop and tell you about the victim. His name is Jermaine Deshawn McClendon Densmore. He was affectionately known as Maine, and he was born in 1983 in St. Louis, Missouri. And his life was characterized by his creativity, spirited nature, and passion for music. He attended Willow Run Community Schools and later pursued a degree in counseling at Wayne Community College. Through his studies, he developed a strong understanding of the importance of mental health and was committed to helping others overcome their challenges. His empathetic nature and genuine concern for others made him a natural counselor and a trusted friend to many. He was also a talented and passionate musician and spent much of his free time creating rap music and videos.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Hendricks. I am going to ask you some questions. If you don't understand them or you can't hear me or anything, just let me know so I can offer you a question you understand. Is that a yes? You just have to say yes for the, okay, thank you. You had the, you were at home back on June 18th, in the early morning hours. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
In fact, prior to, I think the prosecution said approximately 12:57 a.m., you recall looking out your window. Is that correct?
Yes, I have woken up to go get something to drink, and on my way back, when I was on my way back to my bedroom, I heard, an argument, but not like a belligerent argument. They were just going back and forth. They weren't screaming or yelling or,
Okay.
not making a ruckus really, just,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Not nothing that was outrageously loud.
Okay. Now, but you could hear it from where you were in your apartment.
Yes.
All right. Or condo, apartment. Okay. And your apartment's on the second floor in this particular location?
Yes.
All right. And now, are your windows open or closed? All right. And at that point in time, your windows are open. Now, let's talk about the makeup of your apartment. You said you have windows in your apartment, and those windows that you're looking from, or that you described you're looking from, look onto the parking lot?
Yes.
All right. And now, if you're looking just flush with your window, you know what I mean by flush with your window, just how you're flush with that desk? Is it a yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, don't worry. As you're flush with your window, if you're looking straight out your window, what do you look at if you're looking straight out your window?
If I look straight ahead, I see woods, like forest, woods,
Okay.
trees.
I'm going to put these screenshots up during the course of this testimony because it's pretty in-depth and it helps to see. The apartment complex is kind of a figure 8, and the building she lives in is the one that's on the left side. The main road runs, as you can see, down the middle of both of the two sets of buildings. And so her building is the one that's kind of on the south of the U, or not, guys, the bottom over to the left, the bottom corner. So she said when she was looking out, she sees woods. So basically she's looking down, I believe. It's one of these two somewhere around this end of the building. I'm not sure which, but it's this building in this area. And this is the layout of her apartment. So she has these two windows. So she can see out. It may be flipped, reversed, but it's one of those two that she can see out.
You know what I mean? There's no other apartments across from me or nothing. It's
Okay.
just woods.
Okay. But the woods are not just up against your window, it's across the parking lot.
Yes,
Okay, so you see the parking lot area, and then across that parking lot area is the woods. Now, let me ask you, in that particular ambit in your window area, are there parking spaces for cars to be parked? Okay, are there cars parked at that particular time?
there are park, yeah,
Okay,
sporadically parked, you know, in
Okay.
different spaces.
okay, so they're not completely filled, but they're cars
Yeah.
sparsed around that parking lot. Okay. Now, you said that you got up. Let me ask you, what time did you go to sleep earlier that day or that night?
It was probably 8:30. I'm on a funny work schedule, so I go to bed rather early, so I try to maintain that even on weekends and, you know what I mean,
Okay.
all of that.
Well, do you recall what day this was? This June 18th?
No,
Okay.
I'm going, I don't remember the day of the week, no.
The reality is you don't have any specific references to the date. It's just that we use that date, and you've come to learn that this is the date that this happened. Is that fair?
Yes,
Okay.
I don't remember the day of the week, yes, I don't remember.
Now, when you go into this, you get up, you said you went to get something to drink. At this point in time, let me ask you, do you take any medication at that time before you go to sleep or?
Oh, no,
Okay.
not
Okay.
that.
All right.
I take sleep medicine occasionally, but not that night, no.
Okay, you did not take. Okay. Now, you said you got up to get something to drink. Did you actually get something to drink?
Yes, I went
Okay.
to my refrigerator to get a drink of my soda.
Okay. And at how long did you, so you got up, walked to your kitchen. How far is your bedroom from your kitchen?
My bedroom is all the way back in the apartment, so it's, I mean, there's 2 bedrooms and then the living room and then my kitchen, so I don't know how many feet it
Okay.
is, but it's at the opposite ends of the apartment.
Okay. So not to disclose your apartment necessarily, but it's the size of your apartment, whatever it is, it's
Yeah.
from that distance from your bedroom to the kitchen is a fairly decent amount of distance. Okay.
Yeah.
So the window that you're looking out of, is that your living room window?
The first window I looked out of, yes, was my living room window.
Okay. Did you ever look out another window?
Yes, my bedroom window.
Okay. So your bedroom window, if you're looking out your living room window, is that the window that you looked out of first, or was it your bedroom window?
Yes, my living room window is the one I looked out first, and that gave me the view of the happenings on the right hand side of my building porch. So, you know what I mean? If I'm looking out my window to the right of my building,
Okay.
you know what I mean? That's how I was able to see what was going on there.
Okay.
But like I tried to explain, it wasn't a belligerent argument or nothing. I didn't think, hey, I should call the police about this or anything, you know what I mean? They were actually kind of maintaining, you know, themselves.
Now let me ask you
So
something.
I went back, I just headed back to my room after I seen, you know, what was going on or whatever. And I didn't, like, I never seen him strike her or grab her or nothing. I figured everything was, you know, at least copacetic enough for me to go back to my room. I didn't need to like involve any police.
Okay.
I'm very hesitant to call. I don't know if I should. Never mind.
Well, no more. So now you said that at some point in time, and when the prosecution was asking you questions, you said this escalated. Is that correct?
I mean, yeah.
Okay, you used the word. I don't know if it was
It escalated, yes.
Yeah, I don't know if it was your word or the prosecution word, but you agreed that it escalated. And when we talk about escalating, you're talking about the aggravation of voices or the anger that you could perceive that you thought was in voices. Was that fair?
I'm talking about escalated as far as drama, like it evolved very, you know what I mean? Like,
Understood.
yeah, worse, progressively worse.
And as it escalated in your mind, as you're seeing things are moving faster as it became more escalated. Is that fair?
Yeah. I mean, it carried on for a bit, but
okay.
The ending was very quick. Once the black Escalade, I mean the black Cadillac pulled up and passed the black truck.
Okay. Well, let me get to that portion, because that's sometime later in this particular morning. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you got up. Why was it that 12:57, when the prosecution asked you 12:57, that you recall that particular time as being the time that you got up?
When I woke up, I always look at my phone to
Okay.
see how long I've slept, to see if my, I guess, internal clock is like on, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I normally get up at 1:45
Okay.
for work.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? I knew it was going to be around that time, somewhere in that time frame, you know what I mean? So I picked up my phone and looked, and for some reason, I thought it was 12:50, but 12:57 might have been when the police were, notified. I'm not, I
Okay.
think the clock said 12:50 for some reason.
Okay. Now, when you got up, you got up, you looked at your clock, you went to the kitchen, you heard this talking or this conversation, nothing to be concerned with, and you went back to your bedroom. How much would you agree that might have taken approximately 3 to 4 minutes?
Yeah,
All right, less than 5 minutes.
yes, less than 5.
And that less than 5 minutes, you're then in your bedroom, and as you're in your bedroom, this is the point in time in which you hear this escalation as you describe it. Is that correct?
When I'm in my room, I hear the first time that the black Cadillac pulled off, and I thought that they had both drove away together in the
Okay.
vehicle.
And when you say you thought they had driven away together, because you're not looking at those individuals. Okay. And it got quiet. Okay. And you don't know whether the young lady's out there. You don't know whether she drove the car away. You just know that you heard the car leave out.
Yes.
Okay. And you heard at one point in time, you heard that car leave 2 different occasions, did you not?
Yes, I actually seen the second time.
Okay.
I was looking from my bedroom window down that way.
Okay.
And I heard the argument start up again. That's when I went to the window and looked out, and that, the second time he came back.
Okay. Now, as you're making these observations, let's talk about the first window when you're in your living room. When you're looking out your window, you said you have to look to the right. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. And as you look to the right, you look and you saw those individuals having a conversation at that point. Is that correct?
Yes.
And how far what space or where were they at fixed in that parking lot? If you could remember a point in that.
From my living room window where I was looking, it was probably seven parking spaces down, 6 or 7. It was, it was like in the middle of the 2 apartment building doors.
Okay.
So, it wasn't like directly in front of the building. It was off.
Okay. So from your
maybe 5, 6, 7, something like that.
So from your window, that living room window, when you look to the right, you're talking about 5 or 6 parking spaces away from your window. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Or 5 to 7 spaces?
Yeah.
Okay. So now at some point in time, you then go to your bedroom. And you said that you looked out your bedroom window and you could make observations of the interior of that parking lot. Is that correct? And when you're from your bedroom window, where is it that do you look to the left or you continue looking to the right?
I'm still looking to the right at first. When the car pulled back up.
Okay.
And I heard them talking again. I looked over to the right again. It was a farther view, and there was a tree there that I couldn't see like the tops of their heads and stuff like that. I could see their legs, and what I mean, from over there. It was a further view, but I still heard them talking about the keys and the rings and things like that. And that then he pulled up again.
Okay.
I've seen him pull off the side. I've seen him get in the car and pull off the second.
Okay. And you'd agree that second time that you heard these voices, that's the point in time we would describe as at least the beginning of the escalation. Is that fair?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And is this the point in time in which when you describe escalation, when you're describing words, they're cussing at each other, are they not, when the escalation occurs?
They weren't actually like being belligerent. They were just, he was like, I'm gonna need them rings, and she's like, well, I'm gonna need them keys. You know what I mean? It was just back and forth like that. They weren't screaming or hollering or I mean, it was just a back and forth. They weren't.
Okay.
When I say escalation, I'm just talking about the incident in a whole escalated at the end to
Okay.
so much unforeseen outcome
Okay.
from
Now,
where I initially thought it was just an argument.
okay. And you said that as you're watching them from your bedroom window, which is the second time that that car comes back, you don't see you recognize them by their lower extremities rather than their faces and everything like that. But the voices sound the same.
The
Okay.
voices are the same.
And how, as you saw the voices are the same and you see those bodies, how close are those bodies to each other from where you're watching?
5-7 feet. They're not really close to each other, but like she was standing on the sidewalk and he was more towards the car, like the door of the car.
All right.
They weren't really close to each other.
Now you described that second time, isn't that the time in which you heard the young lady say that I'm going to call the police? Is that correct? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. And you also heard at some point in time, stop putting your hands on me, did you not?
Yeah, and that was at that time when when she was like, stop putting your hands on me, and on, and then it was I'm gonna call the police, and that's when he said, go ahead.
Okay.
I don't
And-
want you on me.
And as she's saying, stop putting your hands on me, you're hearing that more so than seeing that, right?
I never seen any visible altercation between those two.
Right. But what I'm saying is when that voice says, stop putting your hands on me, you weren't looking at them at the time that was said. Is that fair? Okay. And so at some point in time, you then said you called the police. Is it fair to say that you called the police twice on that evening?
Yes,
Okay.
I called the first time just to try to see if they could come and maybe deter them from arguing and keep carrying on.
Okay.
I was going to say earlier, I am very hesitant to call the police on anybody. You know what I mean? I just don't want to be that person.
I got it.
So it took a lot.
Okay.
You know.
But it was enough that was going on that you felt, even though you're that person, it was enough going on that you felt the need to call the police at that time, correct?
When the young man said that, go ahead, that he didn't have anything on him, I just figured that I would call, you know what I mean? Nobody was going to get any extra charges put on him or anything. If he came up and that guy would have had something in his pocket that didn't belong there, or she had, you know what I mean? I figured that was the clear for nothing other was going to stem from me calling the police to get them to disperse.
I detect you're the type of person that sees the forest rather than the tree. Is that fair? You know what I mean by that? Just you're looking at the global picture of what the ramifications of a call would be versus just randomly calling.
If I could be frank, I am very hesitant to call the police on any young African American
Fair.
people. I don't want any.
I got it.
That's why I hesitated when the argument was just the fact, you know what I mean?
I understand.
don't want to
But again, my question is, understanding you're that individual, God bless you for that. But nonetheless, you saw the need or saw the potential need that you made the 911 call initially.
Yes.
Okay. You made that 911 call. When you made that 911 call, did you make it in your bathroom, you said?
No.
Okay.
The first one I was in my room.
Okay.
The first one, yeah, I
All
didn't run to my bathroom till.
Okay. So then you then made the 911 call. Did you ever see the police come out shortly after that 911 call?
No, the first time I called, they didn't come right away.
Okay.
The lady on the phone, the man on the phone, I can't remember what it was, said that they would send an officer.
Okay.
Then when I had called back because I didn't see anybody coming, I said, did you guys send an officer? And they said, well, we sent somebody, but they didn't see what was going on.
Fair enough. And you didn't see that car. You weren't looking out your window all the time either and didn't see whether or not you couldn't verify that or not. Okay. And then, so would it be fair to say you called them that first time, and then you called back to see if they had come out. You got some information from them. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm just saying that because we're making a record. Okay. And then after you made that call, you said that the Cadillac comes back. Oh, I'm sorry. A black pickup truck comes into that parking lot. Is that fair?
After the second time the young man pulled up, yes.
Okay. And the black pickup truck, let me ask you about the first time. You're not aware of whether or not that young lady left in the Cadillac the first time either. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. You just know the next time you saw them, they were out by that tree and you
Yeah.
heard the same one. Oh, so then this black pickup truck comes into this parking lot. You'd agree when you saw that black pickup truck, it wasn't parked, it was pulled into the middle of the parking lot. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Are you seeing this black pickup truck from your bedroom window or the living room window? Okay. And if from your bedroom window, let me ask you, and I'm saying because you're the type of person that seems like they don't want to really get involved, but don't want to see anyone get hurt. Are you looking flush out your window? Or are you looking peeking from the side?
No, I'm in my screen, I'm not like over to the side.
Okay. Okay.
I'm looking at what's going on.
Okay.
I'm not like peeking through blinds or.
Yeah, fair enough. So now you're looking into that parking lot area and you see that black pickup truck. Where that black pickup truck comes to rest in the middle of that parking lot. It did come to stop, did it not? Okay. Yes.
Yes,
All right. And it came to stop. How far away were you, or how far away was that black pickup truck from your window where you're making these observations? Approximately. Or if you can remember, here's a better question is, can you remember the spaces of the parking lot spaces where that truck you believe was?
well, I mean, it was about from my bedroom window, if the space right there, it was probably maybe, it was pulled up to where the nose of the truck would have been maybe like 2 spaces from the parking space directly in front of it. So the tail end of his truck
Okay.
was like at my side view, the tail end of the truck. So
Okay.
it wasn't too far
Okay.
up or whatever.
And you saw that truck sitting there. You didn't know anyone was in the truck until the young lady got out of the truck. Is that correct?
I seen her get into the truck.
Oh, you saw her get in. I'm sorry.
Okay. When the black truck pulled up, I seen her get into the passenger side of the.
Okay. What alerted you to you came back to your window when you heard the door of that truck open and to watch that young lady get in there?
No, I came back to the window when I heard the car pull off the
Okay.
second time.
Oh, the car pulled off the second time? You're talking about the black Cadillac?
The black Cadillac.
Okay. And when that black Cadillac pulled off, did you leave your window anytime from that?
No, I seen her get into the.
Black pickup.
I seen that she obviously hadn't got into the Cadillac that time, but she walked and got into the black truck. I'm watching this from my window, and
Okay.
then I hear another car, I hear a car approaching, and I look, and here comes the black Cadillac back.
Okay. And you'd agree that there's a period of time when that black Cadillac pulls off the second time, it pulls off and it's out of your vision and out of your visual. And then some minutes later, the black pickup truck pulls up.
It was a few minutes. I don't even know if it was minutes. It might have been a couple minutes, maybe.
Okay. But it was enough. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It wasn't a long period of time, but
Okay.
it was, yeah.
But it was enough time that those two cars, you never saw those two cars interact or cross-section each other. Is that fair?
Not before.
Okay.
He returned.
Okay. And then that car, at one point in time, you heard that black Cadillac leaving that parking lot and you described it as bottoming out. Is that correct?
Yeah, he pulled up very quickly. He went over we have speed bumps. He went over this speed bump quickly, and that, I heard like the back end
Okay.
of the car, like.
Okay. All right. And that was the first time or the second time?
That was the second time.
Okay. And then when the car comes back the third time, it comes back in a direction opposite that what it left. Is that correct?
Yes, he
Okay.
he would have came in from, yeah,
Okay.
would have been heading south in
Okay.
the parking lot.
So he left north, leaving the parking lot. Yes. Okay. Then he came in south the third time.
Yeah.
And when he came in south, that vehicle didn't stop at that truck. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. That truck is still stationary when that car comes in. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then that black Cadillac then pulls in and goes beyond or south of that truck. Is that correct? And it pulls in south of that truck into and pulls into a parking space, as the prosecutor asked you, pulled next to a dumpster, did it not?
Yeah, I think there was one space between the car and the dumpster.
Okay, and where's that dumpster if you're looking out, you're still looking out your bedroom window?
If I'm looking at my bedroom window, it's to the left,
Okay, and can you see the dumpster from your bedroom window?
very clearly.
Okay, and when you see that, when there's no tree blocking that dumpster, is that
No.
correct? Okay. All right, and so when that car pulls in, it backs in that space?
Yes,
Okay, that car the Cadillac backs into that space. And when that car backs in that space, does that person get out of the car? You talked about the young black male, does he get out of that black Cadillac?
I think when the girl opened up, when the lady in the pink opened up the passenger door, I think they were getting out at like right around the same time.
Okay, all right.
They, like, she knew that they had something, because he knew they had something.
I was gonna ask you that. Okay, so approximately the same, contemporaneous with her opening the passenger door on the truck, that black Cadillac seemed to open up his door and they both got out. Did the black male, or excuse me, did the young lady, did she walk towards the Cadillac?
Yes.
Did she get close to the Cadillac?
She was, towards the front end of the car.
Okay.
Maybe not right up close to the, like, yeah, close, close, yes.
Okay, now this black Cadillac that we're talking about, you've seen this before in your parking spot. Okay, and you know to whom that car belongs, is it?
I know that they resided in my building. I've lived in the building for some years, and I can tell you, I don't know any of my neighbors' names. I don't associate, I don't, I don't speak, I don't say hi, I don't, I just kind of go upstairs and go to work and come home and go back to work.
Okay, so at some point in time, but you've seen this young lady drive that car before, have you
I've
not?
seen the car.
Okay.
I actually had my granddaughter with me one day, and somebody that I knew got out of the back seat of the car. So
Okay.
yes, I've seen that car.
Okay, so now when that young lady walks to that car, the continued escalation, or the escalation continues between that young black male and that young lady. The young lady is a black lady too, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, and between that couple, the escalation continues, does it not?
Yes.
Not to the point of which you describe and brings you here today, fair enough? All right.
Yes, no, that's not,
Okay.
part of it. They were just still going, her stating that she wants the keys and him stating to give him his rings. That's all I ever heard them argue
About
about.
keys and rings.
Keys and rings, that's
Okay.
all.
Now, you at some point in time, you saw that truck move from its space and it moved from the center of that parking lot a little bit. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. And now, and you would agree that that truck then moved over and veered to the left a little bit, but not into a parking space. Is that fair?
The truck pulled in diagonally facing the woods that are across from me. So
Okay.
it did pull up in like, cage corner, diagonal, whatever you want to say, into like 2 spaces, 3 spaces that were open over there.
Okay.
So it didn't like park,
Right. Exactly.
Pulled forward and stopped the car out in
Okay.
the middle of the street.
And you would agree that as that car pulled forward, it pulled forward pretty quickly, did it not?
Yeah.
Okay. And when it moved forward pretty quickly, that individual who was in that car jumped out of that car and ran across the parking lot, did they not?
No, they did not run across the parking lot.
Okay, they did not run?
It wasn't running, no.
Okay.
It was a walk, and they were in the process of walking across the park, you reduce the cars in the process of kind of like ducking down.
Okay, but they were doing more than just walking. It was a speedy walk. Was that fair?
I mean, it was faster, but it wasn't a run. It was,
Okay,
yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, so he was, yeah.
Okay, and so then at that point in time, it was only when you saw a firearm pulled that you then left your window and went in your bathroom and called 911. Is that the third time?
Yes.
Okay, so
I think I probably ended up calling about 3 or 4 times that night total, yeah.
I'm sure, yes. But at least at this point in time, it's the third time. Is that correct? Is it yes?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm sorry, yes.
Don't worry about it. We're good. You're doing fine. And so when you saw that gun being pulled, you left immediately, did you not?
Immediately.
Okay. And when you saw that gun being pulled, you left immediately and you didn't go back to that window until after some point in time afterwards. Is that correct?
Yes,
After you heard this gunshot.
yes.
after you heard vehicles leaving or vehicle leaving? Okay, so you never saw a vehicle actually leave, that truck, you never saw it leave?
Witnessed it pull out. No.
Okay, and you never saw who got into that truck, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. When you came back to the window, you saw this young lady over that person laying on the ground, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right, I know it's tough, you need a minute? Take a minute.
You all right? You want to take a break, man?
No, I'm okay.
You sure?
I'm good. It's just a.
If you need a break,
I mean, it's bound to spark emotions, you know, I'm okay.
okay, but if you need a break, you just let me know. Okay? All right, go ahead, Captain.
Now, you said that after you saw the weapon pulled, it was about a minute later or sometime a minute later or more that you heard a gunshot. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say it was 30 seconds, just 30 to 60 seconds. I was on the phone. I was physically sitting on the edge of my tub in my bathroom, which is directly next to my bedroom, you know, like, you know, the doors are almost adjacent.
Mhm.
So I just across my bedroom into the bathroom to the tub and sat down, and I'm on the phone, you know, telling them like, please hurry and get somebody here. I just seen a gun.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm sitting on the top, and the person is telling me they're gonna be there in just a second. They're about 30 seconds out. They're about 60, I think 60 seconds out or something like that. I remember them saying, and that's when I heard the person on the phone and myself heard the gunshot.
Okay. So while you were on the 911 call, you heard the shot.
Yes.
Okay. And so you'd agree it was like you described, it was immediate. Once you saw that gun, you turn and you run to the bathroom.
Absolutely.
Okay, and you would agree that your focus was on your attention was on the individual who got out of that truck because they're moving, is that fair?
Yes.
And that's got your focus and your attention as you see that individual, and you described him as crouched down on the rear of that vehicle, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It was like something out of almost out of a video game or something.
You called it Call of Duty, right?
Call it like GTA, Call of Duty, like people are crouched down, you know what I mean, trying to sneak up on somebody.
All right. But your focus is on that individual. You see the gun, you turn and go make that call. All right. And you'd agree that you moved so quickly that you didn't even pay attention to those other individuals who were arguing, correct? All right. You hadn't paid attention to those individuals who were arguing because your attention was so focused on that individual getting out of the car, the way they got out of the car, how they were moving, and then ultimately them pulling that weapon, which caused you to turn and bolt to your bathroom. All right.
I was not paying any attention to the other two.
Okay. Just one moment. Thank you, Ms. Hendricks. It's been wonderful.
Yeah. Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, you may step down. Thank you.
And Judge, we do have probably 2 or 3 more witnesses we'd call, but we're asking you to adjourn the exam for those witnesses, and I believe Mr. Perkins is okay with that as well.
All right. And I think during our bench conference, I had given
2 days.
two
Yes.
dates and
The 17th, Your Honor, please.
17. All right. Preliminary examination will be continued to October 17th, 2023, 9 a.m. That'll be in person.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bond will continue. All right. Thank you.
In person. I'm always watching.
On Zoom, yeah, I'm better on Zoom. Less people in my way. And can Mr. Burke continue a protest?
Absolutely.
I go.
This is 35-year-old Martez DeAndre Robinson. He is charged with homicide, open murder, and fleeing a police officer third degree, as well as carrying a concealed weapon. As far as I can tell, he doesn't have a criminal history outside of some traffic violations, none of which were severe or criminal in nature. Police responded to the call from the witness as she described, and as they were responding, they thought it was to a disturbance, an argument between a couple. When they arrived, they found 39-year-old Jermaine McClendon Densmore had been shot. So they took him to the nearby hospital where he was ultimately pronounced dead. We know all this. So they obtained a description of Mr. Robinson's vehicle and were able to locate him a short time later right up the street, ironically, near the Washtenaw County Jail. He was taken into custody without incident and taken to the Washtenaw County Jail. Several days later, he appeared in front of Magistrate Fink, who denied his bond. His attorney, Mr. Perkins, filed a motion for an emergency bond hearing, and the family of the victim posted a petition on change.org seeking to keep Mr. Martez in custody. You can read the full petition with a link in the description. That bond motion was denied, and Mr. Robinson has remained in custody since that time, which was the end of June of 2023. The next hearing in this case, as you just heard, is in a couple weeks. If you'd like me to cover it, it'll be a continuation of this hearing with several other witnesses. Please let me know. Take care.